Hello and welcome back to another Warlords of Draenor class impressions video. So today I'm going to be having a look at the Fury Warrior. This is a really strange spec to me, actually a really strange spec. So I will sort of run over roughly how it works in a minute, but what I want to say is 100 talents just don't matter at all for Fury. In fact, they don't really matter for any of the warrior specs. They're very much superfluous and they don't exactly fit into the rotation or alter it in a sort of crazy meaningful way. The interesting talents are here in the 45 tier. You've got Furious Strikes and Unquenchable Thirst. I'll cover them in a minute though. So as I'm sure many of you know, the warrior always seems to surround around, doing Colossus Smash, and then lots of damage while the debuff that Colossus Smash gives your enemy is up. So in this spec, you want to use Bloodthirst to generate your Rage. Then you want to spend Rage on Wild Strike, and you also want to spend Rage on Raging Blow. Both of those abilities do a lot of damage. The thing about Raging Blow, though, is that it can only be used when you get enraged, and that generates one charge of it. And you actually have a small chance, whenever you crit, basically, with Bloodthirst, you get a chance of generating a Raging Blow to use, or 2 free stacks of Wild Strike. So that's kind of what's going on there. Now, I just think this is a bit of a weird spec. I found it very hard to put my finger on for some reason, but I think that I've been rather used to playing classes with a dual resource mechanic for the last while, and frankly, there's just something about the way that RNG interacts with this spec's procs that I just don't find to be too engaging. I feel like it's designed to have a lot of decision making going on in terms of, well, do I use this stack of Raging Blow now, or do I save it up to using Colossus Smash, in case I just start to generate more than 2. And, there's a lot of little decisions to make there, but they're all really governed by RNG, which to me just takes away the weight and the sort of interesting part of the decision. Though I suppose some people could just see that as it being spiced up a little bit, I just think that it's ultra heavily reliant on RNG. And in fact, with one of these talent choices, the one that I have now, it can lead to significant downtime that's kind of dull. Like, super dull. Not dull like, say, Two-Handed Frost downtimes. Like, I actually think the Two-Handed Frost downtime's okay, because I feel like I've got a lot of planning that I can do, whereas this is just yawn, wait for things. So anyway, we'll jump in here, and I'll show you what this version of the rotation's like. So, as always, we go in, we Colossus Smash. I'll use Berserker there to get a Raging Blow, and there you go, we're outside of Colossus Smash. And we've got downtime. Now, one of the things you're going to want to do is ensure that you always use your free Wild Strikes in general, because obviously you want to be able to generate more in case it does proc, though that doesn't seem to have happened. Again, it's just the sort of situation where I just feel like once this class is at a higher gear level and your crits are more reliable, I just think it'll be a lot more fun then. So, yeah, I'm just sort of waiting here to... I wasn't sure whether I should spend that Raging Blow or just save it. I think I may have made a mistake there. I should have just spent it. I'm not really concerning myself with these big DPS cooldowns, because once again, they are not really a part of how this spec plays. Anyway, so the downtime is rather annoying. Like, you get these procs, but you just need to wait so that you can, well, it stands to reason that you would want to wait so that you can use them so that they can have that effect where they extend Colossus Smash. That sounds like Blizzard's intended design to me. But just for whatever reason, I think this variant of the spec just doesn't feel like a lot of fun to me. Also, because you want to be saving up Rage to be used inside Colossus Smash, it just feels like you don't want to really do too much during the rest of the rotation. That element, it's just as if it kind of sucks the life out of the rest of the rotation, because right now it's like, I'm not going to use this Wild Strike because I need to wait. So yes, that is a decision to be made, but I think it's just a sort of downtime creator that's not a great deal of fun. So, yeah, by the way, if this video does come off as a bit messy, apologies. I did try to record it before. This is actually a re-record because I wasn't happy with how it came out. And yeah, it's just that I'm overall a little bit perplexed by why I don't particularly like this, because in general, I love it when there's lots of procs going on, and I just think that there's something about the unique blend of RNG that goes on with this spec that just seems to be a little bit of a deal breaker for me. It's very bizarre. Anyway, so in summary, if you have Furious Strikes on, The real thing that you want to do is also just ensure that you use Bloodthirst, on cooldown as much as possible, because it has the chance of proccing these things. So let's keep this on cooldown, go into Colossus Smash with as much rage as you can so that you can unleash just a fury of wild strikes while you've got that damage debuff, and then try to make sure you get 2 raging blows, and then of course you can use Berserker Rage to get an extra one. But of course the downtime's annoying, and that whole just way that the rage works just makes me feel like I'm sitting there waiting to hit a button, just in a way that I don't think is too fun. Now let's move on to Unquenchable Thirst. Apparently we're still in combat, that's weird. Unquenchable Thirst is really quite the talent, it's strange. So it means that you've got no cooldown on Bloodthirst, but Wild Strike does go back up to costing 45 rage. Because we can Bloodthirst so much more now, you are getting loads of procs, and one of the challenges of this spec is managing, or at least this talent choice, is managing your procs so that you don't kind of waste them or anything like that. So let's just jump into combat here. You do start off roughly the same. See, we've got our... Oh, wait, why'd I use that? Nope. We want to be wild striking, silly me. Oh, wow, you know what? Screw it. That didn't happen. Let's go again. That was an absolute mess up. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, in we go, round 2. I'll wait for Colossus Smash to come out. Right, so here we go, we're starting a rotation. And this is a lot more expensive, so what you do inside Colossus Smash just feels like it's built off RNG, because the increased Wild Strike cost means that it's, you kind of get through your rage very quickly, and soon just find yourself left with not a great deal to do inside Colossus Smash, which just makes it feel like RNG is kind of messing up the key part of your rotation, and I don't find that to be a very fun feeling. But one thing that must be said, though, for this version of the spec is that the downtime is drastically reduced. On the whole, there's far less. You're definitely proccing more things because you can use more Bloodthirsts, which is very good. And I feel like being able to use more Bloodthirsts allows you to fish for procs better, which I suppose is more fun. But once again, as I said, that RNG just doesn't do too much for me. It really doesn't. I'm so torn about this spec, And by the way, I'm not really playing perfectly here, because I'm trying to commentate and play a spec well at the same time. Obviously, it's a bit of a tricky thing to do. So yeah, there are my thoughts. Essentially, I find this confusing. I don't like how RNG is so heavily dependent on it, but I think that what's going to happen eventually is that, we will get into a stage of the game where you've got so much crit that the RNG element doesn't really matter as much. And once that's mitigated, I think this will be a lot more fun for me to play. Other than that, though, you don't really have too many abilities going on here. That's one thing I will say. Yeah, it's strange. I've just felt myself getting bored with this. And I've just found it hard to really figure out why. I mean, as I said, by all accounts, and based on what I've always been saying about specs, this should be great. I love procs. I think they're really fun. This spec's got lots of procs. Why do I not think it's fun? I'm probably just as confused as you are. I'd really like to know what people who are experienced with this spec think, so if you could just leave that in the comments, I'd really like to hear it. Because, yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. Anyway, that's basically it for the video. I guess, there are 2 very distinct ways of playing this spec, and it just comes down to these 2 level 45 talents. I think that the rotations, or priority systems, whatever, created by both, have got problematic elements that I don't particularly enjoy. And when you're inside Colossus Smash, I just don't think that that this spec and these 2 talent choices always bring up decisions that are based off, kind of what to do. They're sort of based off, well, how's the RNG going to happen? And that's fine, I suppose. A skilled player will be able to act to RNG in a favorable manner, but when you only have 6 seconds of time, then it's going to get to the stage where even a skill player can't really react to the RNG because Colossus Smash will be over. And just overall, I don't think that's a great thing. So more crit equals more procs of things more reliably. Therefore, I think this is going to be a lot more fun when we get more crit. I know that in Mists of Pandaria, Fury really did scale with gear. At the very low gear levels, apparently Arms was the best, and then Fury was better as you started to get more crit and things like that. So perhaps it will be a similar situation in Warlords of Draenor. Nonetheless, though, it's not really a class that I've got, or a spec even, that I've got a great deal of experience in, and because of that, I just want to know, if you're in the beta, what do you think? It's probably worth just putting down on the record as well that I don't particularly think that Arms at its core is that fun either. One thing that I will say, though, is grats to Blizzard for actually making loads of talent choices that are meaningful for the warrior. You know, like if you go into, say, Ravager, Blade Storm, Dragon's Roar, then you've got an AoE spec. Maybe you could do, say, Dragon's Roar, Bloodbath / Avatar, and Anger Management if you wanted a single target spec. Then Siegebreaker if you wanted a knockback. The talents are fantastic for warriors. I'm just not sold in this spec. And that's it. Anyway, this has been a rambly video, sorry about that, but yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.